What's up guys, Anthony here with Empire Music at empiremusic.com. Giving you a little bit of a rewind here today. Maybe about a month or two ago, did a video on a few of these basses that came through, but this one wasn't here yet. And you know, generally we don't repeat a ton of content here at Empire Music, but you know, picking this one up that came through late one evening, I really kind of fell in love with the tone of it. So this is a limited edition for 2021. I almost said 1921, we're like 100 years off there. Limited edition 2021 collection. This is the 1951 Precision bass. Very iconic silhouette. This is kind of the first incarnation of the Precision bass, setting forth a pretty seismic shift in modern music, because really this was marketed to replace upright bass, you know, adding the frets, precision. You know, obviously now that there's no more notes in between the frets, you know, obviously if you're familiar with playing a fretless or an upright, there's a little bit of wiggle room there to be imperfect. And owning a fretless bass, I'm very familiar with being highly imperfect on a fretless. But you know, this changed everything. It was, you know, a little bit more accessible to people. It was a little easier to play. And amplification-wise, no longer did you have, you know, a resonating cavity. You didn't have any issues with feedback now. You could amplify an instrument that really doesn't offer much acoustically to this. So pretty cool. So again, very iconic, a very important silhouette, a very important figure in the evolution of modern and Western music. So it's a real joy to play something like this. Kind of spec-wise, what's going on with it? It's very simple. Like I said, it's 51 Precision bass. It's got a 2-saddle bridge back here. I'm gonna give Brent the old, he was ready for it because he did this last time. But it's got the fiber saddles on that vintage bridge. And that's like what originally came on them. You could replace that with metal ones, but that kind of adds to some of the mojo and the mystique with an instrument like this. And I think it adds a little bit of, accentuates kind of that thuddiness and that lo-fi kind of quality that you get out of something like this. Obviously it's got a nitro lacquer on it, all the way through, so nitro cellulose lacquer on it. It's got a hand-wound 55 single coil pickup. Can't really see that because it has the guard, and there's probably not a real great angle to get in there. Maybe I'll flash something up on the screen if we're feeling frisky here when we're making this video. Brent, I'll send you some files to do that. He shakes his head, gives me the thumbs up, I like it. 20 medium vintage frets, so a little more narrow of a fret than what we see out of a lot of custom shop stuff, which a lot of times has the medium jumbo frets on there, or like a vintage jumbo. These are a little bit more narrow. One-piece quarter sawn maple neck, which for my money is the best thing you can do. I mean, pickups are the most important thing I feel like in producing tone. Next to that is going to be the neck. I'm sure I'm opening up Pandora's box for the comments down on the YouTube page here, but I mean, really, when you get into a one-piece quarter sawn neck, there's nothing, you know, separate. There's no fingerboard. It's all just, it's one piece, and quarter sawn super rigid. I think that's, again, I always like to add, I like anytime an instrument's very dynamic and the way that your personal touch on an instrument can kind of shine through. I think the less components in the way of that, the better. So this obviously gives you some of that. 51 U-shaped neck, so not for the faint of heart here. This is definitely a little bit on the chunky side neck-wise, but that's what you want out of an instrument like this. That's where you pull a lot of tone out of it too, I feel like. It prohibits you from playing super fast stuff. It just doesn't really call for that. Man, but it's not very difficult to play. I mean, I've been playing bass for a while, so there's not a lot of things that I kind of encounter that become difficult to play, but I think these feel fantastic. Exactly what you want, very period accurate there. Vintage tuners, and comes with flat wounds on it. As you can kind of hear at the beginning that I was playing it a little bit more on the mellow side than what we get with rounds. If you put rounds on here though, it's still gonna sound great. You're gonna bring out a little bit more punch, you're gonna bring out a little bit more top end, a little bit of that clanginess, and I mean that in a good way. So this would sound great with rounds as well. However, from my personal preference, I'd probably leave the flats on it and possibly never change them. be cool. So great sounding instrument. Like I said, dead simple, but that's what you want. You want that out of an instrument like this. So what I was playing at the top there, I had a tone rolled back to my little sweet spot, 65, 70%. I'm gonna turn that all the way up. I'll give you a few more playing examples and kind of walk you through that, move my hand around, grab the old plectrum here. Unfortunately for all of you out there, get to hear me play with a pick again. All right, check it out. So again, typical P-bass fashion, we get a little bit more warm and round up here. We get a little bit more throaty and punchy back as we move our hand, and that's what I love about a P-bass. It's one pickup, so it's all about positioning. Kind of same thing with a pick. We'll roll that tone back. I'm gonna even go a little bit deeper than the 60%. I'll try to kind of gauge around 50% there. So, in keeping with what it should be, not a whole lot to it. A ton of fun to play something like this. Really cool addition. I know a lot of guys are looking to add, you know, this silhouette and this style of bass, because if you have a modern P bass with the split coil P pickup in it, it's not the same as this. This definitely has a much more vintagey kind of character. Think about some of the great like Sting bass tones. This is very, very similar to what that is. I just really think it's such a shining example of, you know, the original article, and it's a really good replication of that. So check it out. We have some other finished packages too. This one's NOS, which I dig. I'm really digging Custom Shop NOS, which means new old stock. So this is basically like a brand new instrument from 1951 that would have came out. But we have it in Heavy Relic, Journeyman. So all the stages. If you check out the website, it's empiremusic.com. You go up to the search tab, and I'll put a link below here in the description. But if you just search 1951 precision bass, all these will pop up. Fantastic instruments, collector's items. Won't be around next year. It gets a 1-year run. Like I said, it's empiremusic.com. You can email me directly. It's anthony@empiremusic.com. That's a stretch. And it's 412-343-5299 is the number here at the shop. Anything that you need, feel free to reach out to me. I get calls every day. I get emails every day from people out there, and greatly appreciate that, the support that you give Empire Music here. And it's great to talk bass with you guys. So hit me up. I'm here for you. Any questions you got? Thanks.